Hey, what's going on, guys? So the Sims 4 patch 2.31 just landed, and this one is honestly a pretty big deal because it brings the marketplace over to PlayStation and Xbox, which means console players are getting access to maker packs and a much more flexible way to browse content right inside the game. On consoles, the game files already include kits, so the storage space is being reserved for maker packs instead, with PlayStation getting 16 gigabytes and Xbox systems getting up to 50 gigabytes. And if you are using Xbox Cloud Gaming, you may need to re-download your own Maker Pack content at the start of a new session. That is the kind of change that sounds technical at first, but for players who care about building, decorating, and customizing, it opens the door to a lot more possibilities without having to leave the game. What makes this update stand out is that it is not just about adding a new feature and moving on. EA also cleaned up a bunch of quality of life problems that players have been dealing with for a while, especially around the gallery and pack management. Now, pack content should no longer show up as deactivated after installation, which is a huge relief if you have ever downloaded something and then wondered why the game was acting like it was not there. The new gallery filter lets you include or exclude maker packs while searching, and the gallery details now show which maker pack was used in a creation, so finding the exact style you want should be a lot easier. On top of that, newly installed marketplace content now gets a golden star in Create a Sim and Build mode. Deactivated packs show the correct status in load game instead of pretending they are not owned, and several marketplace bugs were cleaned up, including wallet update issues, false download failures, repeated connection errors, filter reset problems, and images not loading properly from the gallery. EA also mentions UI scaling improvements for the main menu and marketplace, which is one of those fixes that you might not notice immediately, but you definitely feel when menus stop looking cramped or awkward. The gameplay tuning is where this update gets especially interesting, because EA clearly leaned into player feedback about sim autonomy. Sims are now more likely to talk to familiar Sims instead of constantly striking up conversations with random strangers, and that change alone should make lots feel a little more natural and less chaotic. They also reduced excessive flirting, which has been one of those long-running behaviors that can make households feel way more random than you wanted. There are new likes and dislikes preferences for phones and computers, so now you can shape whether your Sims actually enjoy using those devices or avoid them altogether. And the game adds cooldowns for autonomous phone and computer use, so they do not keep obsessively reaching for them every few minutes. EA also slowed down or limited a bunch of repeated autonomous behaviors, including dancing, swimming, exercising, playing instruments, using the radio, watching culinary training videos, playing with clay, and even destroying dollhouses, with special trait-based exceptions so the right Sims still behave in ways that fit their personality. In plain English, the game is trying to feel less like every Sim has the exact same impulse loop, and more like different Sims actually act differently. A lot of the patch is also focused on fixing bugs that could break immersion fast. Prom now appears properly on calendars again, Sims can attend it in both new and existing saves, and Prom goals can be completed once more, which is great news for anyone playing high school years content. EA also fixed the issue where pet and horse data could be lost in pre-made households for new saves, and another fix makes sure animals can be assigned to the animal shed after a household moves without getting stuck in inventory. There is also a fix for animals multiplying after certain inventory and household move combinations, which sounds absurd until you remember how the Sims can sometimes turn one weird glitch into a full clone factory. Another noticeable improvement is the eye blinking fix, where Sims' eyes should now fully close during most interactions instead of making expressions look oddly stiff or half-finished. The patch also touches a lot of smaller pack-specific issues that will matter a lot if you play with older content. Flower arranging objects no longer float while crafting in seasons. Landlord maintenance actions work correctly on tenant objects in for rent. Family tree relationship errors and household deletion crashes were corrected in the royalty and legacy-related content. Childhood housemate relationship labels were renamed in Parenthood so they make more sense. Script errors tied to containment objects were removed in Strangerville, and a few sorting and category issues were cleaned up across other packs too. Even the kitchen clutter pack got attention, with all clutter items now showing correctly under the pack filter and in missed decorations when you browse in build mode.